Baby, I got a surprise for you.
What? Hey, my snakeskin jacket! Thanks, baby! Did I ever tell you that this here jacket represents a symbol of my individuality and my belief in personal freedom?
About 50,000 times. I got us a room at the Cape Pier, and guess what? Power Man's playing at the Hurricane.
Stabbing and steer.
Okay, let's all go. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. This is Wait, You Haven't Seen? That's a show where we talk about movies, and specifically, we talk about a movie at least one of us has never seen before. I'm your host, Travis, aka TV's Travis. This is episode number 330, and our movie this week from 1990, written and directed by David Lynch. It's Wild at Heart, and we're kicking off Cage-A-Palooza 2025 with my friend Josh Monroe. Joosh, how are you doing?
Hey, pretty good.
Awesome. All right. So we're kicking off Cage-A-Palooza because I love to celebrate Nick Cage. It's close enough to August for me. And you had mentioned this movie. So what's the history for you with Wild at Heart, if any?
It's a brief history.
Okay.
It's so I've known about David Lynch since I was in film school. I mean, incidentally, it wasn't because of film school. Mulholland Drive came out while I was down in Florida for film school, so I ended up going to see it with a bunch of people, and I had no idea who he was. And then I've been into Twin Peaks and stuff, and I've caught up on a lot of his movies over the years. But I think actually Josiah, who you guys ended up doing the episode for Network together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he and I had been talking about Lynch and about movies and stuff. And I think it came up in one of our conversations at work one night, and I picked it up on a sale because I hadn't seen it yet, and I was not I don't know that I was ready for it. I mean, I knew it was a Lynch movie, but I didn't know. Right. I knew it was one of the more commercial ones, I guess. I mean, it's not a straight story or the straight story, but yeah. So I went into it kind of blind, knowing it was Nicolas Cage, obviously Laura Dern. But having seen Twin Peaks, having seen some of his other work and stuff, I was like, okay, this is definitely a David Lynch movie. Like, it's Lynch all over it. It's but it's fun because if I don't want to sit through all of watching Twin Peaks, or if I don't like the entirety of it, or if I don't have like the emotional endurance to get through like Inland Empire or Mulholland Drive, like putting this on, like it's a good quick fix of like scratching the surface of the Lynchiism and like ticking all the boxes, seeing all the familiar faces and stuff. So it's a fun little trip. But yeah,
for sure.
I watched it again today for this, and it was only the second time I've seen it. The first time I saw it was about 2 years ago when I picked it up, per Josiah. So I watched it again because I'd been meaning to, and then I'd asked you about it, and I knew you did Cage for the summer, so I figured, oh, well, it's kind of like leads us into it. So
yeah, no, it's perfect. So yeah, I mean, I love Nicolas Cage. We'll talk about him, but I also, kind of like you, I didn't come to David Lynch's work until later on. I know for a fact, if I had watched this movie 20 years ago, I would not have liked it. It just wouldn't have registered with me in a way that would have been meaningful, and I would have been like, this is pretentious bullcrap. I can't stand it. Which was funny because I had seen bits and pieces of Twin Peaks, and I loved the idea behind it. But as I have gotten older and in my middle to late 30s and on into my early 40s, I've really embraced that weird surrealism that David Lynch brings to things, whether it's Twin Peaks or his influence on stuff like Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2 and those video games. You can feel it all over that. So I started watching a bunch of his movies for this show, and I've done Mulholland Drive and I've done Eraserhead and their experiences. And we talked about Twin Peaks on Those Were the Days. We watched the pilot for it. And it's just, there's something about Lynch's stuff that now, really hits for me. And I think it's because at some point I figured out and kind of came to the realization, and I mean, this isn't breaking new ground. People have talked about this for probably decades now, but like David Lynch's stuff can be really deep and really insightful.
Yeah.
But it also is just a soap opera
Yes.
at the same time. It's like listening to Tool. If you're a Tool fan, you listen to Tool and you can get this deep, insightful stuff out of it, but it's also like a 7.5 minute long song that is just a very elaborate dick joke.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Lynch and his stuff, is that he very much just puts things out there and let you decide how
Right.
you feel about it. There was did you see the interview with Simon Pegg recently where he was in his like DVD closet talking about his stuff? Have you seen any of that?
Was he not just in the Criterion Closet?
Maybe that was the Criterion Closet.
I feel like he just did. Yeah, he talked about Blue Velvet, didn't he?
Yes, that was what I was going to get to, is him talking about he showed his daughter Blue Velvet and she hated it. And his comment on it was perfect. He's like, she hated it, and I'm so happy because she talked about it for the rest of that night and the entire next day. And this whole thing about like entertainment doesn't always have to be good. Like a film or art doesn't always have to just be entertainment. It can also be something that pushes you or makes you uncomfortable or makes you not like it, and that's fine. Those things need to exist, and I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
I want my popcorn entertainment. I just saw Fantastic Four First Steps,
mm-hmm.
and it was a ton of fun. It's popcorn entertainment, but I also want stuff like what Lynch puts together or Cronenberg or whatever, where it does make you feel things and not necessarily good things.
Yeah, I think so obviously I did see the video with Simon Pegg. I tend to watch a lot of the Criterion Closet videos, even if it's somebody I don't know. But if it's somebody I know, I absolutely watch them. But I had heard, and this, I don't know if it needs to be its own separate episode, but there was like a quote unquote documentary. I guess it's actually just a collection of 6 essays, but there was a documentary put out a few years ago called Lynch Oz, talking about the impact that the Wizard of Oz had on David Lynch and like the correlation of things. And I had heard about that, but it was very much like a Room 237 situation where it was like, this is not the person or the production. This is somebody else talking about I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll eventually. So with watching this again, I had watched some of it online, because this one does have so much Wizard of Oz, like very straightforward imagery.
I was kind of, I won't say shocked, but I was surprised by how much like overt Wizard of Oz mentions and imagery there was.
Yeah. But it's interesting. So I watched. So like I said, I watched this the first time. I guess it was a couple of years ago now, and have recently. Well, today I watched it again, but it was kind of funny. Prime Day was a few weeks ago. I ended up putting in a huge order, and then as things started to arrive, I didn't realize that I had ordered a 4K copy of The Wizard of Oz, and I had also ordered Dark Side of the Moon in vinyl. But
nice.
Incidentally, I had also ordered Miller's Crossing, which you and I briefly talked about because I had not seen before. And then watching this again and seeing J.E. Freeman as Santos, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was in Miller's Crossing. Right, I remember him now. And so it's, I did a little bit more prep on this one, but I think going into it, one of the things I guess that kind of, I wouldn't say unlocked Lynch, but some of the things that were mentioned in the Lynch Oz video or whatever, collection of essays, I guess. It was talking about how he's using the Wizard of Oz as like a shared touch point for us. So it's like Lynch can be very confusing. A lot of people can he can have a lot of depth. I think he resonates deeply with people.
Yes.
He's plucking the strings, or he's letting us pluck our own strings, I guess. But it's a terrible metaphor. Anyway, but he's presenting things somewhat plainly, even though it does not make initial conventional sense. But like
Hmm.
as you collect the pieces and you put them together and you revisit them in all of his works, things like fall into place and line up and stuff. I mean, even just firing this up today, well, not not literally pun intended, but starting the movie up, and it like the title comes up and it's flames over black and there's like
Yeah.
airy whooshing traumatic sounds, and then it cuts to Cape Fear, and there's like very, very recognizable, everybody has heard this music playing. So we've gone from
Yep.
like, okay, we've gone from the crazy, fiery, here's information to everybody knows this. Okay, now we're gonna have super crazy, weird, violent thing, and then we're gonna touch back to Elvis stuff, and like, okay, so it kind of keeps bringing you back to things we all know, and then it
Yeah.
shows you more stuff. So it's just interesting how he like portrays things, and people, I think a lot of people imply, oh, this must be what he means, and it's like, well, that's what it's what you got out of it, but
And that
I feel
was
like it's
the
yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that's one of the things that I love and have come to appreciate about works by David Lynch and other creators like him is he does set things up and he presents things for you, and
Hmm.
then people will make their assertions or their assumptions on what the meaning is, and like David Lynch would be like, "Sure, yeah, that's what it means," or if that's what it means to you, I think is even better way to put it. And I
Yeah,
love that. I love the idea of I'm just going to make this thing and put it out there, and then we'll see what happens with it.
yeah.
And it's kind of a really it's an interesting thing because it's sort of the anti or the flip side of somebody like say George Lucas, right? George Lucas put out Star Wars, and then he was constantly tweaking with it and touching it and massaging it to get it to where his vision was going to be. And
Yeah.
Lynch is like, I made this thing, and I don't know. I just thought that was a cool looking shot. Like there's a shot in this where we're in the bathroom stall with Nick Cage's character Sailor and
Hmm.
Diane Ladd, and she starts talking, and then the camera just focuses on a toilet for 5 seconds, and then
Yeah.
comes back to them. It's like why? I don't know, but it's weird, and you can infer a lot from it, or it can mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And Lynch just thought the toilet looked cool. Who knows? And both things are true, and that's one of the things that I've really grown to love is just that weirdness and weirdness for weirdness sake in a
Right.
lot of it.
Well, and I mean, it's not it's weirdness for weirdness sake, but it's also to an extent.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say. I guess the connective tissue is David Lynch, but it's like I wouldn't say that there's any piece of work of his that doesn't have meaning. It's not just there for shock value or whatever. I mean, like there's definitely it evokes a
Oh yeah.
response, but it's usually with intent. I
Mhm.
think, but
I would agree
and
with
that
that.
I think that's the other thing is I it's funny that I'm retaining more from the Lynch Oz than I am from Wild at Heart. But I was gonna say what two quick little snippets from that, and then I'll move on from them. Um, they were talking about like the same stories being told over and over again, and it's like it's not that Lynch will take a story that we know and he will present it in a new way that um, shows us something different than we usually see, or he's
Mhm.
not telling his version of the story. He's just taking the inspiration of the story and he's using it to like filter through himself and like project what
Yeah.
he gets out of it. And so I think
Oh,
that's part of
absolutely.
why his averse reaction to giving meaning out vocally to things or his personal meaning to things is because that another quote was he loves the making of it, he loves the shooting, he loves the editing, and then when you release it, it's like, oh, that's when the heartbreak begins.
Yeah.
Which I because
Because at
then
that
he has
point,
this,
you think about it as a creator. At that point, it's no longer yours. Now you've
right.
given it to the masses, and they're going to do whatever they want with that, and you can't
Yeah,
really control it. So
but I could imagine it would be very frustrating for David Lynch, a person who is known for being weird and quirky and etc. And has a lifetime reputation of like not disclosing the meaning behind things, asking, making people ask a lot of questions, but not having answers, not providing them with the answers, which I think can be frustrating for fans. But I think he's just so, he clearly watched a lot of like cinema and things when he was a kid, and he felt a deep connection with stories, and he wanted to
Hmm.
share that with people. And I think his resistance to giving meaning to others, or to validating other people's interpretations, is that by doing so, it robs them of their own individual connection with the movie. In a weird way, I mean, Mulholland Drive, I the last time I rewatched that, I had seen like somebody's quick synopsis of it, and they were like,
Hmm.
"Oh, well, it's very clearly this." And I rewatched the movie, and it kind of was like deflated because I just kept validating it against what I had just read, and I was like, "Oh, I see how this fits," and it didn't feel like my Mulholland Drive. It felt like I was watching somebody else's. Oh, I see how they got to that. Yeah, okay, but it
I
wasn't like
can,
my own personal connection with it. So
yeah, no, I can see where that can happen, and that's why I love the phrase "we're always a different person every time we see a movie." That time
mm,
watching Mulholland Drive for you, you were different because of what had happened in between the two. The last time you had watched it and this time, with what you had read and what you had heard and all of that kind of stuff. So
right.
it's one of the really intriguing things about art for me, and
Hmm.
and storytelling in cinema, is that it can, even though when a movie is done and it goes out, that's it, the movie is there and it's always the same film, but the
Theoretically,
experience of it, yeah, but the experience of it is always different, and in some
right,
ways it is similar in that way to stage production, because if you go to a stage production, every time you go it's a little bit different,
right.
and films can do that, not always, and sometimes you don't want them to. I have movies that I like to revisit just because the that nostalgic feeling, that warm blanket wrapped around you of like, this takes you back to a time that was really good. Or
Hmm.
can do the opposite, you can watch something and can take you back to a time that was rough, but maybe you need that for that catharsis, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Lynch, what I have liked about his movies that I've watched, Blue Velvet being another one, is when I watch a David Lynch movie, it forces me to feel something, and put oftentimes will give me moments that make me chuckle, moments that make me laugh out loud, moments that shock me that I'm not prepared for. There was a few of them in this movie. Also moments that make
Yeah.
me deeply uncomfortable. Blue
Yeah.
Velvet did that really well. This movie did that really well. There's moments of Mulholland Drive deeply uncomfortable. And
Hmm.
I think that all of those things are great. And Lynch can put all of that into one movie and just be surreal with it. It's kind of like, in a very different way, but it's one of the reasons I love listening to stuff like Primus or Les Claypool, because he
Hmm.
just experiments and tries random stuff, and some of it works and some of it doesn't. There's moments in David Lynch movies that don't work for me, but I'm still fascinated by them, and he was a fascinating person, I
Hmm.
think, because of all of that.
Yeah. And it's very much, I mean, you're talking about Tool and stuff as well, and I guess the same thing as like Dave Grohl. I heard on an interview, because he started as a drummer, obviously,
Yep.
but he never took guitar lessons. He just kind of like started picking it up. So it's not like, oh, he went and got guitar lessons and he learned how to play and he reads me. It's like, no, he kind of found his way, and that's why his sound is its own thing. And
Hmm.
same with Lynch. Like, he clearly saw specific movies at specific moments in his life. And I mean, he's from California originally, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, like, obviously the 1950s Americana, it's very Lynch. But I just lost my train of thought.
But
Sorry.
also, what I like about his style, his 1950s Americana, is it's taking the idea and the romanticized version of that
Yes,
and
going under
flipping
the
it and saying,
surface. Yes.
yeah, this is what it looks like, but really, because like Lynch's movies remind me a bit of, not stylistically, but there's a certain reminiscence of like what Tarantino does, where he gives you a very stylized version of the world that's very filtered through Tarantino's eyes. Lynch
Hmm.
does the same thing. he filters everything through kind of the way he sees stuff. So it's always this really just out there surreal and very like hyper realistic and overdone piece. He also, this is and this movie, watching it reminded me a bit of another movie you and I watched for this show. It gave me a little bit of Blood Simple in the feel of it. And Coen brothers are also very much like that, where they filter things through their lens. And there was a lot of moments in this where it felt like that.
Yeah, and it's ultimately like the story of like a small group of people and their interconnected lives. So yeah, there was another movie. Oh, there's another movie that Josiah and I talked about. Excuse me. It has Billy Bob Thornton, I believe, directed it.
Okay.
I think it's called One False Move.
I feel like I've heard of that one. I know I haven't seen it, but I've heard that title.
I think it's him and Bill Paxton.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they were in A Simple Plan together. But One False Move was a 92 movie, and it's about a cop and a crook. And yeah. But it's very similar, Blood Simple, like South. There's a bit of more. This is closer to Wild at Heart, I think, because there's a bit more of a road trip, like distance traveled. I'm not sure how I felt about the movie. It was okay, but it was very much the same. Like, it's just going to present this to you and let you sit with it, and that's the point, you know?
Yeah.
To borrow that Family Guy joke when David Lynch does the Christmas thing, and it's like, there's nothing in the box. I didn't understand. That's the whole point.
Well, and I love it because he just plops these characters. And so this movie, obviously, our main characters are Nicolas Cage as Sailor and Laura Dern as Lula. And Laura Dern had been in Blue Velvet a few years earlier, so she'd worked with Lynch before. I think this is the first and only time Cage worked with him.
I think so, yeah. And this was after this is between Twin Peaks seasons, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was it was in there somewhere. Because this was released in August of 1990. So I think Twin Peaks was going, and he maybe stepped away from it for a little bit to work on this and then come back.
Between seasons 1 and 2, maybe, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But those two have to carry the movie.
Absolutely.
Because it's all about them, and it's their little road trip. And it's interesting because, like Blood Simple or like The Big Lebowski, another Coen Brothers movie, the plot of this is largely irrelevant. Like, there's things going on, but stuff gets brought up and mentioned and then sort of just forgotten about for a while, as it's just these situations with this couple, Sailor and Lula. And I had to look it up because I was really curious, because I know Laura Dern was real young when she made Blue Velvet, and Nicolas Cage always has looked older than he is.
Yeah.
And so I looked at this. They were only about 4 years apart. She was like 22, 23, and he was like 26, 27 making this. So, but they reportedly spent like a couple of weeks together before filming. Lynch told them like, hey, you guys really need to have chemistry, so spend some time together. And they did like a LA to Las Vegas road trip. Just the two of them and all that, to kind of just get to know each other before doing the show, the picture, because not only were they going to have all the scenes together, but also the movie they have a very sexual relationship. Yeah. And I think that Lynch wanted them to be extremely comfortable with each other for those scenes, and it works. I think that pays off really well in the movie because I buy their relationship.
Oh, right. Anytime you're with the two of them, like, that's all you need. Like, they are the scene. Like, it's when they're separated that it becomes about everybody else.
Yeah.
And then
otherwise it's like other characters floating in and out of their scenes. But Sailor and Lula, like, they're magnetic together. It's weird, and like they're definitely over the top, but it works. It works so well.
Yeah. And rewatch. So this is the first time watching it for you. Okay, yeah. And again,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only on two, but and it was a couple of years ago I saw it the first time, but rewatching it now, it or just recently in life, I've just been really fascinated by like the character dynamics and the relationships. I rewatched Blue Velvet and I was just
Hmm.
like clocking the power dynamics between characters and scenes and how
Yeah.
from scene to scene that would shift. And it's kind of the same in this where it's like I forgot about I remembered like key moments of the movie, but I as I started to rewatch it, I was like, oh right, I forget what happened to that guy, and oh, how did this person meet? And then it tells you through the movie, like
Yep.
this is effectively Laura Dern as the main character, I think, in my opinion, because it's
Yeah.
her story, it's her mom, it's everything centers around her.
Hmm.
But as you're watching it, you start to see more and more of her actual mother. I don't know if anybody we haven't really addressed that, but yeah, Laura Dern's actual mother plays her mother in this
Yeah.
movie, so that adds a level to it as
It
well.
does. So her mother, Diane Ladd,
Mm.
plays Marietta, and I did not ever make the connection or realize that Diane Ladd was Laura Dern's mother. I knew Bruce Dern was her dad,
Yeah,
but I didn't. I just never. I guess I just never looked at that or made the connection or whatever. But Diane Ladd here plays her mom. Diane Ladd got an Oscar nomination for this movie, by the way.
yeah. I mean, I get it. She
Which
went there.
she she went for it. And it's some of her scenes are extremely Lynchian. Like there's a couple times where she's straight looking at the camera delivering lines
Hmm.
when she's covering herself in lipstick
Yeah.
out of nowhere, and
Which
then
some of
just
that,
like
I guess, some of
crazy.
that. I watched a little bit of the making of stuff on the Blu-ray.
Hmm.
Some of that she even mentioned. She's like Laura was cast, and then she got a call, and it was just like, I would like you to be in my movie, and she's just like said yes, and then got there, and it was like never a question about how weird anything was. Like she would go to him like, oh, I know you want me to do it this way, but I had a thought, and she's like comes up with this scene and he's like, that's brilliant, I love it, let's do it. And it's like, okay. So it was very collaborative in that sense, but I think he allows people to open up in ways that other productions and other directors and sets and things probably wouldn't, and be
I get that
vulnerable and
feel.
yeah.
Yeah, I always got that
um,
feel like he would, because you don't have, so Nick Cage, Laura Dern, Diane Ladd, but you mentioned J.E. Freeman earlier as Santos,
mhm.
and a lot of these characters only have a few minutes of screen time. They might have a scene here, scene there, and then be gone for 45 minutes, and then
Oh
suddenly show
yeah,
back up. But like
Crispin
I love
Glover.
J.E. Yeah, and that's who I was getting to. So J.E.
Okay, sorry.
Freeman, I love J.E. Freeman.
Hmm.
Um, but then if you need weird, you get Crispin Glover. He's good at that.
Absolutely.
He can do it. And his character, there's nothing plot related to his character being in this movie or even being mentioned. He's all in flashbacks being told by Lula to Sailor about her weird cousin who thinks it's Christmas all the time and is worried about the aliens with black rubber gloves doing stuff to him or something. And he was keeping cockroaches in his underwear.
Yeah, which is just
And
a great Crispin Glover moment, just watching him
yeah,
writhe on the sidewalk there.
yeah, it was just, I'm like, nope, I think my note was, you need weird, Crispin Glover. He's got you.
I couldn't
He's
have
just got
pictured
it covered.
anybody else doing that exactly. Yeah.
And he is the kind of person that I feel like is pitch perfect to have in a Lynch production, because Lynch can give him like two lines of like, okay, here's what you need, and then he'll just run with it. Same with like, we get frequent collaborator Isabella Rossellini, right? She was in
Hmm.
Blue Velvet.
Yep.
Um, I love Harry Dean Stanton so
Obviously,
much,
yeah. I need
and
to watch Lucky. I don't know
yeah,
if you know. That's on my list of things I need to watch in the near future. Just side note, but yeah.
but like he's great in it for the little bit he's in. I have a ton of audio we're going to be listening to
Oh, okay,
someplace
yeah, yeah,
because there was so much of this. But even like Sherilyn Fenn showing up
yeah.
as the
Hmm.
girl in the car accident for one scene, like she just kind of David Lynch was on the set of Twin Peaks, like, hey, I need you to come for like 1 day or 2 days to shoot this thing, 2 nights, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, William Morgan Shepherd as Mr. Reindeer
Oh yeah.
is that the whole segment, there's just this like 5-minute bit in the middle that deals with Mr. Reindeer, and it feels so much like it was just pulled right out of Twin Peaks to me.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just
When
because it's just weird and surreal, and like
shot,
he's sitting.
yeah, I was
The
gonna say
shot
when
of
it's
him sitting in the chair
on the phone
with
and then
the
it pulls back wider and then it pulls back wider and it's like, oh, he's in the bathroom and a topless girl is dancing for him while he's taking a crap. Like
I have to find my note exactly, my exact note for that, because one of them was like, I love the weird way people act in his movies. Like no one would ever do that, but also you can absolutely picture somebody just doing that.
yeah.
But there was, we got where was it? Because it was exactly that. Like it's such a David Lynch moment to pull back, and he is sitting on the toilet with a
Mhm.
topless woman just dancing to music, staring out the doorway of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Why? Don't know. But it's just it just makes me laugh because it's so absurd and it's perfect. I just loved it.
Yeah.
And
You say
one actor that was in this that wasn't in it enough. Well, a couple of them. David Patrick Kelly is one of the two, I guess, hitmen? Question mark.
yes.
And I just
That's
love him.
also
Like he's
Jerry
great.
Horn or Ben Horn. That's Jerry. Yeah, he's Jerry Horn as well in Twin Peaks.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, he's worked with Lynch before. He's great. You know, he was in Warriors is the thing he's most famous for, probably. The Crow is T-Bird. He's another one of those that he's a bit like a Crispin Glover or a Brad Dourif or Willem Dafoe, right? These character actors that you can put into something, and they can be just on screen and be present and do an incredible performance, or you can also get them to just do something weird.
Oh yeah.
For the sake of being weird, make weird noises or weird faces or whatever it is, and they're going to do it and they're going to have fun with it.
Right.
Freddie Jones popping up
Oh, yeah.
in this for one moment, quacking like a duck for some reason.
Yeah, which when I was rewatching it today and I saw that and I'm like, oh, it's what's his face from Dune, because he was one of the guys in Dune.
Yep.
Was it Wooher? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Yui. Yeah, Dr. Yui was Brad Dourif, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think so.
Anyway. I believe so.
Yeah.
But like Jack Nance pops up frequent,
with
Jack
a weird little
Nance's
story, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And that's Jack Nance for you.
Yeah, exactly. And even Pruitt Taylor Vince for one scene. Look, very young,
the eye guy,
thin.
That's what I think of him as, the eye guy.
Yep. He is another one of my favorite, character actors. Like if I see Pruitt Taylor Vince in something, it just makes me smile. I just love his presence. And of course, Willem Dafoe is in this as Bobby Peru. With the worst fake teeth I've ever seen. Like,
or the best.
Dafoe already has. Well, they are, but like Dafoe already has really big teeth.
Yeah.
And so then to put these fake like covers that give him really bad rotting teeth, just make it look. Yeah, and it just makes him look like that much more Willem Dafoe-ish in a way.
Yeah.
Like
it exaggerates. It pushes him.
Gremlin-like. Yeah.
Yeah, and then putting that little pencil mustache on him just like accentuates it.
Yes.
I think that's what he mentioned was in the behind the scenes. He was talking about how he's like, yeah, I mean, my wardrobe was just like the jacket and the teeth, and like I just walk in and like, all right, put the jacket on, put the teeth in, like, all right, I'm in character. Like, it's hard not to be in character with that device in your mouth, forcing you to constantly be smiling almost because it's on top of your other teeth. So, but it definitely
sometimes
adds to it.
Yeah, I think sometimes that can help an actor, right? To give them something like that to work with. Not always, not every character needs that, but sometimes you want that as an actor. So, and again, Willem Dafoe is just one of those. He's in something. I'm already. You've sold me on it. Just putting him in the movie. Him, Cage is the same way. Like I've watched some terrible movies that have Nick Cage in them because he's in it, and in this, I like his performance, because it does toe the line of being too much. He doesn't go full vampire's kiss, but he
Yeah.
also isn't sleepwalking through it. He's having a good time. He's in great shape. That moment where they stop on the side of the road and
Mhm.
Lula has her little breakdown because she's trying to find like music on the radio, and it's just all like, I love that moment
Mhm.
because she keeps flipping through different radio stations and it's all news and it's all just horrible and it keeps getting worse.
Totally unrelatable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing like
Nobody
today.
listens to the radios these days. No, just kidding.
But she gets out and she's like, you got to
Yeah.
find me music. And he finds like this thrash metal. And then he does a flip coming out of the car
Out of the car. Yep.
and just starts doing like high kicks and
everywhere. Yeah.
it was, I was impressed. I'm like, I didn't realize Nick Cage was that limber.
And the camera just keeps pulling up and up and up, and they both are just letting it go. And I'm like, yeah, they're wild. They're being wild.
Yep. And that, you know, because the movie has a plot. There's some sort of like something we never find out exactly what. It's always alluded to, which is again a very David Lynch thing. Like Santos and Marietta have something going on behind Harry Dean Stanton's character Johnny's back. Like Johnny and Marietta are sort of dating.
I think
he's really into her.
Yeah.
He's still really into her, so he's helping her out. Lula takes off with Sailor. There's like all this stuff going on. There's nefarious whatever's happening. But it really doesn't matter because the movie is just about these moments with everybody. But Santos puts the hit out on
Johnny. Oh, he
Johnny.
puts the hit out on Sailor as well. But yeah.
Yeah. Which again is one of those really fun things where it's like he calls someone who tells him, all right, put the silver dollar in my mail slot with instructions and the deed will get done. And so there's like the clandestine thing of like, it's silver dollars. And then we don't even know who the hitman is for Sailor until much later to find out that it is Bobby. Cause he's got the silver dollar, and there's just like, everything's sort of intertwined and weird and like floating in and out. And it's just bonkers. Now, what happened to Bobby was one of those moments I wasn't prepared for when this movie's like and I should have, but by that point in the movie, I should have expected again something, because one of the things this movie did, and I appreciate it for that, is you mentioned the opening credits, which I loved. I loved that lit match and just this like very ominous, very Twin Peaks inspired kind of music. And then
very
smash cuts with the like swing dance stuff.
Yes.
And then that scene is like the movie doesn't take its time working into the uncomfortable moments. It just says, here we go, slams you in the face with it, where we basically open up with a guy pulling a knife on Sailor and Sailor beating the brakes off him, like smashing his head into the concrete and killing the guy right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, okay, well, we know where this movie stands right away. Like there's just no foreplay. It just jumps right into it.
Yeah.
So
well, it's funny. Well, that's where it like really hit for me, because it's like you sit down, you settle in, flames engulf the screen, and then it pulls down and it's music, and then now violence is happening, and it's just like we just sat through like a minute of flames and we were cool, but now like, oh, like we forgot the violence is not that far from where we are. It's never a hot and cold. It's like it's always just off screen. Like it's always just there.
Yeah. And for it to like occasionally slowly come back to it, like we won't have anything happen for a little while, and then they come upon the car accident and it's very bloody and very rough. And the moment where Sherilyn Fenn, who's just credited as girl in accident, is like this gooey stuff, this goopy stuff
sticky
in my hair.
Stuff in my hair, yeah.
Oh, that was so uncomfortable to watch, because like it was making the hairs on my arms stand up.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's prosthetic and it's just fake blood in her hair, maybe even in a wig, I don't know. But all I could think of is like she's just digging into a head wound. And it was
yeah. Clearly she's repeating her, and that's one of those things where the first time I watched it, I was originally like, "Yay, it's Sherilyn Fenn." But then I was like, after the scene, well, okay, let's be fully transparent here. Initially, It was, oh, it's that Chris Isaac song, but they're only going to
Yeah.
play this snippet of it on a loop for the entirety of this car scene. um,
Right.
which is fine. Chris Isaac's
Mhm.
kind of been hit or miss, I think, over the years, but was in Fire Walk with Me, by the way, if you haven't seen
Yes.
that. Um, and then they pull up, and the first time I watched the movie, I was already like, "Oh, cool, I know this song." And, oh, hey, it's Audrey Horne. And then finished the scene, and I was just like, "So that happened." I'm like, I didn't really see how it fit into the movie, but again, that's the point. And like watching it
Mhm.
again for the second time now, I'm just like, oh right, it's this scene, and I'm like almost like leaning into it because I get to watch
Yeah.
Sherilyn Fenn act, and it's like, oh, I definitely did not have a lean in response the first time, but just we are the audience, and we the audience are in the car with Sailor and Lula. We are
Mhm.
experiencing this as they are. We have as much information as they are, and just like them, there's nothing we can really do here. So I guess we should just move along and try not to think too much about that. Like that happened. Now,
Yeah.
um,
That's a good way to put it. Like we are literally just in the car with them. We know as much as they do, and when they leave, that's it. It's out of sight, out of mind. We don't think
yeah,
about it anymore
it's
because
kind
they
of
not they can't.
what's the Toby Maguire in Fear and
Oh,
Loathing?
and in Fear and
Same,
Loathing, yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
same thing. It's just
exactly.
like thanks for showing up. Okay, bye. Like you were here for
Yeah.
the scene. But yeah,
Um.
Lynch borrows people to bring in from all places for these things. Like
Oh yeah.
obviously Sherilyn Fenn, no, no, Cheryl Lee. Um,
Oh yeah.
at the
Yep.
end of
Yep.
the movie, and I guess she was like
Which,
literally he called her up and is like, "Hey, I want you to be in my movie. I'm gonna string you up to a harness and hang you over the street dressed as the good witch." It was like, okay, it's like
yeah. I
what?
mean, do you say no to that? If David Lynch called me up and was like, "Hey, I need you to do, I want to put you in a bunch of makeup and have you stand behind a dumpster and jump scare somebody," I'd be that guy. Like I
Yeah,
would play that character.
yeah. It wouldn't be the
Absolutely.
weirdest
So,
thing he's asked you to do, probably. So,
that's true.
yeah. Although this would have been
Um,
before Fire Walk with Me, obviously, because
yes,
so this is
that
this is
was.
before they really went into like the darkness of like Laura Palmer stuff with Twin Peaks. But yeah. But anyway, I one of sorry, we should probably talk about like the story itself. I guess you were kind of getting into that, but
I mean, a
um,
little bit, but again, like the story, it's Sailor and Lula basically eloping. Sailor gets out of jail because he went to jail for killing the guy in the
mhm.
opening of the movie, and he's gone
Manslaughter,
for manslaughter. So it's 2 years, something like that.
which I do
Um,
appreciate that they were very clear about that at the beginning. He was
mhm.
attacked. He defended himself. He ended up getting out slightly less than 12 months or whatever. No, 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 that's later. Yeah, the time jump at the end is slightly less than it was originally projected,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
but it
very
was.
clearly established he did this thing, but it proves two things. It proves that he is capable. He is invested in Lula and protecting her.
Mhm.
But it also, because it's the first thing you see in the movie, you have no concept of the mother, you have no concept of Santos and Mr. Reindeer and all this other stuff that has happened prior to this
Oh yeah.
scene. But then as
Well,
you
and they
watch the
even.
movie, it ties back. You're like, oh, that I see that he's had this streak of violence. He's not just acting out. Like, in all
Yeah.
honesty, Nicolas Cage is making, for the most part, fairly coherent decisions, with the exception of like going to join Bobby Peru for that job at the end. But he needed it;
Yeah,
it was a necessity. So,
and it was one of those. It's one of those things where like the movie starts you off. The opening scene, the guy that comes up to him,
mhm.
um, who was what the hell was the character's name? It was like Bobby Lee or something like that. But anyway, he comes up
The
to.
comedian, famous comedian Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
No.
no, not at all. But like the guy comes up to Sailor and tells him like, yeah, you're here with. He's looking up and down Laura Dern, leering at her,
Bobby Ray
and then
Lemon.
saying, Bobby Ray, that's what it was.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, you got this nice looking girl, but her mom was saying you were trying to get with her in the bathroom stall and all this kind of stuff. So it's setting us up to be like, oh, maybe this character of Sailor he's kind of just a delinquent. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
But we learn kind of over time that no, he actually is. He got into with a bad crowd, probably out of desperation, right? Needed work. He's working for
Mm-hmm.
Santos, driving.
Right.
Happened to be at the house, and they all assume he saw something. We never really get did he or didn't he, which I kind of like because he could have definitely seen what happened.
Yeah.
But I also sort of had this idea that like he never really saw what happened, but he could infer it based on what everyone else was doing. He just happened to be there. Like,
Right. Like one of those, I think I have an idea of what my boss does, but I don't want to say anything because if it is true,
yes,
then I don't want to say, so
exactly.
yeah.
But when he gets out of jail and Lula wants to be with him, so they take off and he breaks, parole and leaves the state and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're
Which,
gonna go. I think they're heading for California, right? Like that's their idea eventually.
yes. Yeah, which does confuse me because they're like, oh, let's head to like he's like, baby, I'm gonna take you to California, as far away from here, or whatever. And then they cut to the mom on the phone, and she mentioned New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait, when did that come up? It was like, where was New Orleans? And then she mentions later, it's like she's always going on about New Orleans. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't really remember who suggested New Orleans, but they ended up there. It was on the way, obviously.
Yeah.
But
So I think it was just that was going to be the next stop. Maybe they didn't plan on. I don't really think Sailor and Lula had a plan when they started. It was just let's go and see what happens because they are, to quote the movie, wild at heart.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to go, and just all this stuff happens. We got contract kills put out, and people are showing up, and just weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
They end up in Texas, in a little town in Texas for a while.
Big Tuna.
Big Tuna, Texas, population 603, something like that. And part of that was Isabella Rossellini's character had a history with Sailor. And
they would tip each other off.
He must have known she was in Big Tuna, because that was basically why he went there, was to find out if somebody put a hit out on him, which is a long way to go to find that out. But hey,
on the way to California, though, you're
true.
From North Carolina, South Carolina, so I mean, you're going to be going by. It's not like we're going up to Montana, but
we're not in Vermont saying we need to get across the border. Let's go to Mexico.
Yeah. We got to get these bottles to New York.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it's basically Johnny Farragut, Harry Dean Stanton's character, is sent to find Lula, but then Santos
finds him.
It's a whole lot. There's a lot going on. It's weird, but in a really compelling way, as long as you can do David Lynch. And I think that's a very big caveat, because I know, like, again, younger me couldn't do that. I have plenty of friends that I'm not going to recommend David Lynch movies for. Not because I don't think they'd get it. I just don't think they'd like it. I don't think it would mean anything to them in the same way that it can to me, which is fine. Everybody likes different stuff. That's one of the beauties of art. But man, there's some just fun, weird, zany moments in this. That just make you laugh. And then there's other times where it's like, oh man, I want this scene to be over. Like, I don't like how this scene is going on. When Bobby Peru comes into the hotel room where Lula is, that whole scene is so incredibly uncomfortable. It ends really funny. Just the way it ends is hilarious. But from the moment he walks in the room until just before he leaves is so uncomfortable and so difficult. And you're just there and you're in it and it's up close and you can't get away from it.
And until that last moment, you are legitimately unsure. Just like Laura Dern, you're legitimately unsure if he is actually going to do something. Like, at any moment, he very well could, and then he just like backs out of the room, and it's like all the interactions, which is, it's weird because this movie kind of cheats, because there's a lot of information we are privy to that Sailor and Lula don't have. It like cuts back to, like, the mom, it cuts back to people having conversations off screen, and it was like, okay, that's going to build tension for us as we see the things come together. But yeah, that's where, like, on this viewing, I kind of felt like it was Laura Dern, it was Lula's story, and it's in a sense it's kind of a coming of age story because it's a young girl who finds quote unquote love,
Hmm.
which I kind of feel like if Nicolas Cage had seen something, it would seriously, the night when when the house was on fire and her dad was, attacked, um it would seriously, like, shade their relationship if then he pursued her as an interest after the fact, like, hey, I remember watching your daddy die, and then,
Yeah.
like,
No,
that.
that's a good point.
So him not having seen it definitely, like, keeps it a little bit more balanced, but no, in a weird sense it's kind of like he's a knight in shining armor that's, like, rescuing her from, like, this larger web of things that her mom and all these other people are in, and they're escaping together, and this is kind of their, we did what we had to do to get out of here, and at the end of the movie he was going to leave again because he doesn't think it's good for her and their son, but then comes back and it's like, yeah, you guys made it, now you can just be you and have your life, and
Yeah, and it's a beautiful ending, and I loved the use of music in this, where because
oh yeah,
Sailor's a big Elvis fan, he's singing Elvis songs,
and
and
saving
I
that song for the end, like, I told you, baby,
yep.
I'm only gonna sing that to my wife, and it's like it
Hmm.
sets you up for it. It's Chekhov's Elvis, but
Yeah. Um, Also, I think so. This movie, unfortunately, is not available on any streaming service or
yeah,
any of the buy and rent. Even you can't get it on, like, you can, if you can find a physical copy of it, yes,
that's
but you
why I
can't
got the
get it digitally.
Blu-ray. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's how it originally
And
happened because we were chatting about it, and I was like, yeah, that's one I couldn't find, and then I
and
ordered
I
a Blu-ray.
think
Yeah,
I'm almost positive it's all music. It's all music rights, right? Between like
it's very
Chris
license
Isaac and
heavy.
Elvis, and it's very licensed music heavy. So those are always the tough ones. The movie I did last week, PCU, has a lot of licensed music in it,
Hmm.
including George Clinton in Parliament, Funkadelic. So like those movies get tougher because they get wrapped up in what rights do you have and not. So
Right.
that's one of the bummers of it. But I think also just I love the use of music in here
Hmm.
and the songs that they chose, and they were very specifically chosen for moments in this movie, and they're wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Lynch was into music. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I minor side note. I have a new coworker in the last month, and her and I have been chatting about a variety of different things, and didn't realize, like, we both have a similar interest in, like, dream pop, like, ethereal type whatever stuff. A lot of it
Hmm.
for me came from watching Twin Peaks: The Return, because I just, like,
Oh yeah.
started listening to a bunch of those artists that were showcased there. Um, but it was just cool because it's like, oh, I found this neat little, like, grouping of music that I feel really, like, in tune with. And then she's over here and she's like, oh, well, have you heard these? And it's like we just, like, swapped our plates and, like, oh, I'm gonna try this now. Like, it's
Oh, that's awesome.
like we thought we had our whole little world of stuff, and then, like, oh no, there's all this other stuff out there too. So I like the collaboration there, and we can keep sharing. And ultimately, I think that's the whole thing. I mean, art. Like, what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
You're making something. You're expressing something. You're trying to get other people to think and feel things. And if you're not, then what are you doing? You're just making content. That's the thing. Lynch is not making content. He
No.
may eat up a
No,
lot
he
of
is not.
screen time with nothing, but it's not
Yeah.
content.
Right. Um, okay, so IMDb trivia I always like to take with a grain of salt, and this one I take issue with.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to tell you why I take issue with it. So Willem Dafoe is actually urinating in the toilet when he goes to visit Laura Dern and asks, uh, apparently he had a bunch of water and really needed to go, and only later did he find out the toilet was not working and some poor crew member had to clean it. Here's where I take issue with that. As I'm watching this scene, I watch him walk into the bathroom and we
Hmm.
hear the sound effect of a zipper. If he was really peeing the way he was standing, we would have seen it. We could have seen him peeing into
Yeah,
that toilet, and you couldn't. I
it's
don't buy that.
IMDb. You got
Yeah,
to
it's
take it with a
IMDb
grain of
trivia. I
salt.
don't buy
Yeah.
that one at all. Um, I do like this one though, and this comes back to Cage, who again I really like Nick Cage in general, and I liked him in this movie. because he brings a certain weirdness to it with some of his movements, and you just let Cage do cagey stuff, and it's
Yeah.
fun.
I
And this
think
was a go ahead.
David Cage. No, I think David Lynch was able to utilize Nicolas Cage
Hmm.
authentically as much as possible. He was not being a David Lynch character. He was being a Nicolas Cage character, but it was within a David Lynch movie. But
Yes,
it fit very well. It wasn't it wasn't Vampire's Kiss Arch, and it wasn't super weird Lynchian, but like it was a good like intersection between the two of them creatively.
it was. Yeah, it was a really good chocolate and peanut butter mix of
Hmm.
just them each bringing what they did. And Cage apparently has said that Wild at Heart helped him to move away a bit from method acting, because Lynch would be rewriting something or be like, hey, let's try this. And so he had to kind of just get a little more. And if that's true, if it kind of did that for him a little bit, I like it, because there's been a nice evolution of Nick Cage over the years in his
Hmm.
career and the way that he acts. And he brings something. I always say he brings something to his movies. He always makes choices. They don't always
Hmm.
work, but he makes them. And I
Yeah.
think that working with somebody like David Lynch probably helped to shape that in a way.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, there are people who have songs that want to sing. There are people that have like places that you can sing, and I know it's a terrible metaphor, but yeah, an actor doesn't act just because they want to bring to life the characters others have created.
Hmm.
It's not like I'm just going to show up and fill me as a container and I will do your job. It's like no, they bringing their own thing to it. So it's
For
same with Kyle
sure.
MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan is very much himself in almost every David Lynch role he's in, but he's also very much a David Lynch character and everything.
Hmm. And I think you get that with everybody here.
Hmm.
They're all bringing a little bit of themselves. That's why you cast Crispin Glover. That's why you put David Patrick Kelly in a movie,
Yeah,
because you want that, whatever that thing is that they do, but also within the character that they're given, and they're really
right.
good about that.
Grace
Um,
Zabriskie,
oh,
who played
she's
Laura's mom on
fantastic.
Twin Peaks, which anytime I see her in anything now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be ridiculous and awful, and I'm going to love it. It's going to be so good.
Hmm. Now, audio wise, there's a ton in this movie,
Yeah.
but I did capture a good bit. I got some stuff from Sailor to start, because again, we're here talking about Nick Cage. We're going to start off with some Nick Cage's stuff. Um, I loved the snakeskin jacket because it's absolutely ridiculous, and he's got the collar flipped up on it the whole time.
Yeah.
According to what I read, that was Cage's jacket. That
Okay.
wasn't part of a wardrobe. That was his, and he asked if he could wear it in the movie. And that, again, this is trivia, so take it with a grain of salt. But it was his, and he asked Lynch if he could wear it, and Lynch was like, "Sure." So that's how that got into the movie. I loved it, but I loved.
Did I ever tell you that this here jacket represents a symbol of my individuality and my belief in personal freedom?
About 50,000 times.
Yeah.
He said that twice
Yeah. Oh
in the
yeah.
movie. That exact line. He's rehearsed that line. The character of Sailor has rehearsed that in Cage. I feel like that was a Nick Cage moment to say that.
Yeah. What's funny is, so he's very clearly doing like an Elvis, like he's modeling himself to a certain degree after Elvis, either the
Yep.
character is or Nicolas Cage is. I mean, it was based off a book, and I believe that was part of that as well. Um,
Mhm.
but I that's one of the things that on this watch I was like, oh, okay, so he's templating his voice and his look and stuff after Elvis, and then immediately comes in with, this is a symbol of my individuality. And it's like, wait, but you're going off cues you've seen from somebody else,
Yeah.
but you
Yep.
try so.
Oh,
And again, I think that's where it kind of fits into like a weird little coming of age story, because it's like two people who are only following what they have been shown previously, and then are trying
hmm
to find their own place in life and make their own life for themselves.
yeah.
So it's like a struggle between like, I got to break out of this, and make my own thing, and I have to fight my way out of it. Yeah, I appreciated it, but it was like very back and forth. Like I'm very stereotypical this type, and then I'm my own person.
Yep. Yeah. I'm an individual, just like everyone else.
But I want to be part of the group. I want to be
Yes.
part of it. Yeah, I want to be recognized. I want people to know, but I'm on my own.
I just love anytime anybody says,
Anyway, dig this.
dig this.
Oh yeah.
Just a fun turn of phrase. I love you dig this. It's just a cool thing. So that one I had to get. There's so many Wizard of Oz references in this.
Oh,
Well, I know it ain't exactly Emerald City.
You know, Emerald City. At one point, Lula taps her heels together in her red shoes.
continuously.
Yeah, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
This
Rockin' good news.
rockin' good news. I'm keeping that. That's a great line.
And if you played that randomly for a person and you gave them like 5 guesses of what movie it was from, I feel like 90% of people would be like, Vampire's Kiss? Like they wouldn't know it was this.
No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have before seeing this. And I bet in a year, if you played that for me out of context, I couldn't tell you what movie it was from.
Yeah. Every now and then there was a subreddit I used to go to a lot. Like it was like images from movies. And it was like name that film kind of thing. And it was obscure still frames, or whatever. Every time I'm watching a movie and there's just like a sustained shot of something, I'm always like, I'm going to remember this if I ever see it come up online. I'm like, I never see it come up. And if it did, I don't know that I would actually remember. But every time I see a movie and I see an image like that, I'm like, this is one of those. They're going to come back and ask you. This is on the test.
At one point when he comes back to that hotel room and Lula has gotten sick and she didn't make it to the bathroom, so it was on the carpet.
Yeah.
And then later on he comes back. So he's been there. They've mentioned it. He's left. He comes back, and you hear him say,
The smell's still filling this room good.
well, yeah, the smell's filling the room. You ain't cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Like, try cleaning the carpet. Clean that stuff up, and then maybe the smell will go away.
I was gonna say though, that was when we were talking earlier about like the unsettlingness and like making you stay in a situation with a person and stuff. Yes, it indicates that, oh, she's not feeling well. She's pregnant. Okay, we get that. Spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen the movie yet.
Sure.
But as they keep coming back into the room and referencing it, it's just that it's like that visceral layer, because it's like you can't smell the movie, but everyone has been around vomit. So,
and it's terrible.
Everyone has a sense of it. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to give you a visual and suggest it. And then for the rest of this, I'm just going to like reference it's there. And you're going to be thinking that while the scene plays out. And it just gives you like this curdling, like unsettling, I can't get comfortable vibe, which just adds to that whole section of the movie there.
So. This was one that both made me laugh and this is very much like the dark comedy aspect of this movie, and it made me laugh, but it was also heartbreaking in a way when they're sitting. This is after they've had one of their like long sex sessions, and they're smoking afterwards, and Lula mentions stealing her mom's cigarettes in 6th grade, and asks Sailor when he started smoking.
I guess I started smoking when I was about 4. My mom was already dead then from lung cancer.
Like, the absurdity of that line made me laugh, and then I felt terrible for laughing.
Yeah.
Which I think was the point.
Well, I'm not saying, you should feel, like, I agree. Yeah, because it's also, you start to think, like, if I was a 4-year-old kid and my mom died from smoking, like, everyone outside is like, well, clearly you would never smoke. It's like, or if you didn't have much of a connection with your mom and you knew that this was something she did, maybe it would draw you to it. Like, what was this thing she did so much that it caused her to die?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I get it. So smoking was much more of a thing back in the 80s.
This is true. Bobby Peru gets Sailor to go on a job, and this is Bobby's setting up for killing of Sailor.
Yeah.
This is the way he's going to do it, an accident while, something goes bad on a job. But he offers him, hey, I'm going to knock over a feed store because they have a bunch of cash and it's easy and nobody gets hurt and you could use the money. And when he asks him how much money he and Lula have,
$40.
well, it goes a lot longer back then, but it's still not much money. So,
yeah.
But Sailor, to his credit, doesn't want to do this. He's trying to not get back into that world. Like he got into it when he was driving for Santos, and he got out of it, and he doesn't want to go back to doing things like that.
Right.
But he needs money. So the next morning, when he's waiting for Bobby to show up, I felt this.
What am I doing here?
What am I doing here? Which I asked myself a lot.
And like a lot of things, he talks himself up to the moment of he's going to leave, and then he hears the car pull in,
Yep.
obviously right at that moment. But it's kind of funny, though, because that's the only time in the movie that financial stuff is brought up. Because, like, he gets, like, if you think about it, he kills a man and goes to jail, calls Lula, she picks him up, and then they take off. So unless Lula had some money, he hasn't been working.
Yeah, I think she did.
She must have had something.
She must have just a little bit, just enough to get them going, and then they were going to figure it out. And so now they're down to almost no money. They got to figure out what to do. Here's an easy job that supposedly shouldn't get him into too much trouble, so he's going to go for it. But you're right. He's talking himself out of it, and then the car rolls up. I did like this.
They say the eagle flies on Friday.
Because it made no sense at all. It's just a complete non sequitur, and I loved it. And you can't have Nick Cage in a movie without him getting to yell or scream or something at least once. And when they're holding up the feed store, he just lets out.
Yeah,
it's great, just perfect.
Which reminded me of early on in the movie when they were like hyping themselves up to go out to the bar and stuff, and it's just like, oh, so they're wild at heart, but like they also they're chasing after certain things that they're interested in, but also they know it takes a certain level of effort to get themselves primed. So it's not like their natural state, even though they can say it's something they can't get away from or whatever. But yeah,
right. No, that's
so it's the same thing with like the robbery and stuff. He's like, I gotta psych, and he's pretty reserved in a lot of the movie. He's very low key.
He is,
which is interesting for him.
Yeah, and I like it because it makes this moments like that one stand out more.
Yeah,
for me, that scene, by the way, didn't go the way I was thinking it was going to, because
the robbery,
and that was the robbery where Bobby starts shooting people, and
nobody gets hurt, and then he turns and kills a guy,
just shoots one guy, shoots the other guy. The gun that he gave Cage didn't have real bullets in it; they were just dummy bullets.
Dummy.
And then when they go outside and the sheriff is there, I'm gonna get to exactly how that affected me here. But first, I got to play this last Nick Cage quote, because at the end of the movie, he has this realization that like this isn't a good situation. He doesn't feel like it's a good situation for him to be back with Lula and their child. Like he's not going to bring anything to it. So he says
more harm than good, kind of.
Yeah. And so he leaves and he walks away. And then he's just walking down random street and a bunch of random dudes just come up to him, and he does use a slur.
Yeah.
Before they beat the crap out of him. And then he has his hallucination of the Good Witch and realizes, nope, he can have what he wants. And he does deserve that and all of that. And it's the realization moment. And when he stands back up, I just loved this moment after that.
And I want to apologize to you gentlemen for referring to you as homosexuals.
He apologizes to them and then leaves.
Which I mean, that's the significant moment of that. But yeah, him getting up and like the 8 to 10 guys are still standing around him, and they just let him stand up. He apologizes and then he walks away, and it's like, in what reality would that ever happen?
David Lynch's world.
But I do
in a Lynch world.
I do appreciate that it wasn't just he used a slur for that group of men and then apologized to it. Like in a lot of other, like I recently revisited a movie, Garden State, and I'm like, wow, there's so many things in that movie that do not hold up now.
Hmm.
And it's just like, okay, well, I appreciate that they didn't just use it in the movie, but they also like closed the loop by him apologizing for saying it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Which,
just like a single instance, like,
for a
yeah,
movie from 1990, I
yeah,
appreciate that, because it could have very easily just been a thing he did and then left, and you could have left it at that. But like, that's a great way to put it. Closing the loop on it, I think,
I
is
don't know. I'm
quite good.
wondering if because they're in California at that point,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, I'm
I
wondering.
think
I
so.
mean, the AIDS epidemic. I'm wondering if that was like an aspect of it because
Could have
California,
been.
and it was a group of
Sure.
men. Like, I don't know if that was. I'm not saying I'm not making an excuse for the word that he used, but I'm just saying
No.
like I could see how it's like if somebody was like, "Oh, I ran into a group of guys in San Francisco." Certain
Hmm.
people are going to take different tones from that than others would, So
Yeah.
anyway,
Lula's got a bunch of fun stuff. Hers are mostly like weird kind of non sequiturs, or I just liked the way, like, I like referring to, and this was a backstory bit that is tough, very difficult, but
mm,
this did kind of make me chuckle, this particular moment.
Uncle Pooch died in a car crash 3 months later while he was holidaying in Myrtle Beach.
Just Uncle Pooch, who
yeah,
wasn't really her uncle and was a terrible
yeah,
person, apparently.
yeah. Well, and that's what again I like for a half a second I thought when I was watching it that her when she's originally talking about that with him in the beginning of the movie, and then it
Hmm.
like cuts to scenes of things.
Yep.
And I wasn't sure if it was her reliving it or if it was for us, the audience, or if it was. But and then like as the movie progresses, you realize like, oh no, you're seeing like how things. She says like she doesn't think her mom knew about it, but then it like shows her mom
Yeah.
in the room screaming at him and stuff, and it's like, oh okay, so I don't. She's probably
And
like blocked certain things from her own mind. So
she's repressing some of it, and I think too some of it is just not trauma dumping all of that onto Sailor, and
yeah, yeah,
and kind of only feeding him parts of it. So there was that. I did love. She does still at least care about her mom a little bit, because was they're in the car.
I guess I'll send Mama a postcard from somewhere. I don't want her to worry no more than necessary.
No more than necessary.
yeah.
Perfect. We also did get title.
This whole world's wild at heart and weird on top.
Well, roll
Hmm.
credits. Wild at Heart.
Yeah.
Um, Here's one. Now, I know she's from the Carolinas, right? South Carolina, North Carolina. Cape Fear
Yeah.
is name dropped. So this is a Southernism. I don't know if it's a real one or not. I'll have to ask some folk I know from that area. But
Cause Mom's gonna have Johnny Farragut on us like a duck on a June bug.
a duck on a June bug. Never heard
Yeah.
that one before.
And
Seeing
it
this
sounds
movie.
more Carolina than Georgia. That doesn't sound
It
very
does.
Georgian. So
Um, this was just. I just love this delivery.
It's just shit. Shit.
Yeah, no, it's about what it's like right now.
mm,
From 1990 and prophetic, and
yeah.
still today.
Oh, how far we've
Um,
come.
tell me about it. I loved her note to him at the end because of this line.
I miss dancing and talking, and especially the other.
Especially the other. Oh, Lula. Lula,
I don't
Lula.
know if you tracked it. The getting out of jail and then them having very intense lovemaking. It progresses over the course of the movie, but like
Hmm.
it starts off with like a bit of a red filter over it, and then it gets into like the next one is like an orangish, and then it's like a yellowish, and then like the last scene of them like having sex when she gets pregnant, I'm assuming, like that scene, they go through all of the colors of the rainbow. Like it progresses from
Yeah.
red all the way through to like violet. And so again, another over the rainbow. We're not in Kansas anymore. Like, well, she's
Yep.
pregnant. They're going to have to start being a family. I mean, so it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is a tonal shift. And then you don't see them having this violent sex anymore after that, or passionate sex, I should say. Not violent,
Yeah.
but intense. But yeah, again, just like these
That's a
visual
good point.
things that not everybody picks up on, but like you're seeing it, it's weaving into your experience of it, but it's subtle, but it's there.
Yeah, it gets in there. It gets in subconsciously, and you don't clock it right away. But if you go back and watch it, you might see it. But it does steer you in certain directions, which I do
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
Bobby Peru, Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is always a win.
Very quotable, but
just
maybe not the best things to quote.
no. I only have a couple clips of his, but this
Yeah.
one was too funny not to.
Come on, Mr. Big Round Balls.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
I did have a weird working theory on this view that, oh, well, Sherilyn Fenn in the car accident is kind of like the Scarecrow because she has a head injury. And then, oh, Mr. Big Balls, like, oh, is this the Courage? I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just looking for things that aren't.
I mean, maybe, but you're also not that far off. So,
But then
it's plausible.
When
But that's Lynch.
When Bobby Peru's in the hotel room with Lula, you could say that that's a Tin Man scene because there is no heart in that scene.
Yes. Ooh, boy, is that ever true?
So I was like, I
part
don't
of
know. I
that-
guess that's all I could think of it being like the if I only had a heart, like I don't know. I think it might be
Yeah.
a stretch, but
I mean, probably. But if you were to ask David Lynch if you still could, he would probably say, "Ah, it works. That makes sense."
yeah, it's like if that works for you, great.
The end of that very uncomfortable scene is him saying,
Someday, honey, I will, but I gotta get going.
Yeah.
and then I got a little chuckle of his. That just broke me at that point.
It's so weird going for like there are characters on screen that like Laura Linney is a great actress. She's great because I find her incredibly annoying in a lot of her roles because she does them so well.
Yes.
But this is like
Oh, yeah.
Willem Dafoe is both being terrifying and funny within like a beat, and you're like, I don't know how to feel about this, but it puts you off. Like, and it puts them off too. It's like we all know a person that's like this guy is probably fine, but at any minute we're not sure. We think he could turn, but
oh yeah. I mean, how many people can deliver the creepiness of the whole scene in the hotel room with Lula, but also say,
Those are dummies. Dummy.
yeah.
like, come on. I mean, that's perfect. Also, our introduction to him, where he just walks in, they're sitting around the table with Buddy, and it's right after or right before the Jack Nance moment. But Bobby Peru comes walking in, sits down. They give him a glass of Jack Daniels, and then he says,
One-eyed Jack's yearning to go a-peeping in a seafood store.
and then he just gets up and leaves.
See, okay, so they established in that little town there. Was that Big Tuna or was it Lodell? Or was it Big Tuna?
Could have been either one. I think it was Big Tuna.
They established that they're shooting a porno in that other trailer that other unit over there.
Yep.
And then we see like the three ladies come out and dancing around and stuff. And obviously like the two guys in the suits that are standing at the door when Lula and Sailor go back in. I think those are the film people.
Probably.
But him saying, I think One-Eyed Jack's looking to go to a fish store. I was like, is he making the porno? Is this a
if
euphemism?
He isn't, he wants to go get involved.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So I'm like, okay, I can see what those things mean if that's what he's meaning by it. But also, One-Eyed Jack's was a place in Twin Peaks. So I hear that and I'm like, hey, it's another Lynch thing. You're like, nope, that's not what he means.
No. J.E. Freeman, Santos. Yeah. I love J.E. Freeman. J.E. Freeman is one of those actors that even when he's playing like a sincere, decent character, I still always think he's going to turn at some point.
Oh, yeah.
There's something with his voice and just the way he delivers lines that like you never trust his character fully.
It's like a Brad Dourif. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think part of it is that I've seen him in a lot of those nefarious characters.
Oh yeah.
And now when I see him, I'm just like conditioned for him to at some point flip on people. But I loved some of his lines, like
You want me to shoot Sailor in the brains with a gun?
and it's the combination of that line with the like piano jazz right before it, and then we just smash cut to that.
Yeah.
And the music just stops abruptly and he says this line, and that one really got me. I also like when he refers to himself in the third person. Got me pretty good.
Santos wants to wipe away the tears.
He just wants to wipe away the tears. Yeah, J.E. Freeman was great. It's kind of one of those where I want something to spin off and give me more of his story. I would be fascinated to follow him around for a little bit.
The
What was
Wild
he
at Heart
doing?
prequel.
Yeah, what was he doing that Sailor was driving for him? You know, what were the things he was getting himself into? Like, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
He's two. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's the real villain of the story, but
Mhm.
I guess Mr. Reindeer
of.
would be. They're working for him, but he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I never fully figured out exactly what was going on between Santos and Mr. Reindeer and who's where and doing what. But that's fine.
Yeah. Carolina Mob. I don't know.
Yeah. I only got a couple of Johnny Farragut moments, but Harry Dean Stanton, always a win. And it was
so
his
good.
delivery of this is very earnest.
I'm going to do everything I can to bring her back home, all right?
You know, he genuinely, like, he cares about Marietta. And so he wants to help her.
I mean,
he's definitely got a thing for her.
He's such a tragic character in a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, the movie's great at like giving you the information the character in the scene has, and then immediately following it with, now here's what other people have for information that changes what you just saw. Like, she's been with Santos, I think, for this entire time, and Johnny Farragut is somebody she used to be with and is no longer with, and so it's like she's playing him, she's calling him up, she's pulling his strings.
Yep.
And he's just taking it as at face value and happy to be there, and all those dark shots of him just driving in the car, just like by himself. Everyone else is having adventures and singing and dancing and getting in fights, and he's just trucking along.
Yep, he's just the private investigator going off to do detecting and not great at it. Also sitting in a hotel room barking for some reason, because
watching hyenas tear apart a gazelle or whatever.
Yeah. There's a
lot. Again, why would you be sitting there watching that on TV in a hotel room at night? I mean, if it's on, it's on, I guess. But whatever.
The only Crispin Glover only has one line in the movie outside of just like yelling randomly, but I just loved.
I'm making my lunch!
Because it's just out of nowhere. He's got just a pile of sandwiches all cut up.
They're just like pieces of bread. It's like
just bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Well, it's I think even the first time I saw this, I didn't recognize him in the Santa suit in the first couple of shots, and it wasn't until then, and then obviously when he's standing on the sidewalk. But I'm like, oh my gosh, that is him. Yeah, like, and then as soon as he spoke, you're like, oh, obviously that's him. Like, you can tell that voice.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is like the only real thing David Patrick Kelly does, and it's the shot of one of the cars driving into, I think it's New Orleans, and we just see Drop Shadow and Reggie walking down the street. David Patrick Kelly and Calvin Lockhart, and this just tickled me. I don't know what that is. That's just and the funny thing is, I will occasionally just make weird noises as I'm walking around. So I kind of identified with that a little bit.
Yeah, and as someone who has seen this movie before and was rewatching it again today, when that scene came up, I was like, "Oh, hey, that's Jerry Horn. Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah." And then I completely forgot he was like a role in this. I thought it was just like a little bit, like he came through. And again, I had already seen this before, but I forget he is an actual like part of this later on.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was like a random little, here's a person on screen doing something weird, which Lynch is known to do sometimes.
You mean like when
uh,
Jack Nance shows up and just
yeah,
says,
My dog barks some.
yeah, oh yeah,
"That's great, Jack.
Jack Nance.
I'm gonna go this way now and just leave you here."
Yeah.
I loved it. It's perfect.
Oh, and also, and
So
the
go ahead.
guy, I should actually look his name up. Growing up, we watched Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a guy, I believe he played Ike Godsey on Dr. Quinn. He was the guy that stood up from the table at the beginning of that scene, like the tall, like long-faced guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
he's
know
been
exactly
he's
who you're
been in a
talking
bunch
about.
of different things over the years too, but I remember him as being in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman when I was a kid, and now I see him in all these weird things. I'm like, man, I got to get up to some weird stuff.
Frank Collison is who you're thinking
Okay,
of. Played
yeah, yeah,
He was Timmy. He was Timmy Thompson in this. And yeah, I clocked him right away, and I was like, I know that face, and I'd seen him in things because he was
yeah.
in an episode of Twin Peaks, but he's also in the revival.
Yes,
But yeah, Dr. Quinn. He was in. I remember him in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? As
yes, yes,
Wash.
yes, yes.
Wash
Yeah, he's been in
Hogwall.
and again, Cohen's Lynch. I'm kind of surprised Cohen's and Lynch didn't do more collaboration things. I could see them. I'm
Yeah,
wondering if if the Cohens and Lynch ever like communicated, talked.
they had to have.
I'm
I have to
sure.
think. Um,
Anyway, now I'm just getting like lost in wonder. Anyway.
when so the whole heist is going down, and we've seen Bobby shoot the two guys inside, and Sailor goes running out, like sprinting out of the feed store, and there just happened to be that sheriff that came by who got,
Hmm.
he's talking to Isabella Rossellini, and then everything goes down. She hits him with the car and drives away, and I
Yeah.
loved this delivery.
Stop, you sons of bitches!
That's perfect. And he fires and he hits Bobby. He shoots
Oh
him
yeah.
a couple of times, which, okay, I was all prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for was Bobby dropping to his knees and the shotgun going off and literally blowing his head clean off.
Yeah.
That came kind of out of nowhere on me, and nearly got the movie an X rating.
Really?
Because they didn't have
Wow.
NC-17 at the time, and the
Yeah.
rating board was like, yeah, you're going to get an X if you leave this in. And Lynch was contractually obligated to finish an R-rated film.
Mhm.
So if you notice, I don't know if your Criterion or your Blu-ray had it, but there's a lot of smoke in that scene, in that shot.
Okay.
They added in like that smoke effect to obscure a little
Yeah.
bit and try to
'Cause
hide
it really-
and that was enough.
It really sells when like you see the remnants of his head like roll off, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, which is very similar to the guy at the beginning
Yes.
that Nicolas Cage killed. So again, this is the second time, and I guess that's the connecting tissue between those is he is involved in another death. He didn't cause this one, but
Right.
yeah, it's very similar. Yeah,
But boy, did that one got a whoa out of me because I just
yeah, oh
wasn't
yeah.
ready for that.
Also thinking
Um,
back, like this is 90, so
Mhm.
what was a very notable horror franchise trope in the 90s and in the 80s? The
That
slasher
was
movie.
definitely like knocking heads off of,
Oh yeah, and
especially killers.
slasher movies and stuff, and things kept
Mhm.
trending up and up and up. So like by 90, it's like, okay, I mean like this is
Yeah.
a person with a gun, yes, but it's like, yeah. Anyway, how it's shot
and
is
then
what matters.
yeah, and the aftermath of the whole scene is hilarious because when we cut back inside the feed store,
Oh
and the
yeah.
two guys that were working aren't dead somehow, and one of them is looking for his hand, and I just loved.
They sew them things back on. Works good as new.
Probably not, but then to have it where the dog had the hand in his mouth and is running away with it, that
Yeah.
also that made me laugh. That's that black comedy right? That dark humor
which I think
shining through, like
it's
wholly
really
absurd.
it's really weird. This is not specifically movie related, but do you find that like things coming to people at specific times or whatever, like a movie comes along when you're ready to see it in a sense. So
Mhm.
as I previously mentioned, I had not seen Miller's Crossing. I
Yeah.
ended up picking that up. I also had picked up a 4K of The Big Lebowski, which I hadn't seen in ages. Um, not putting the connection together that they're both Coen brother movies. Obviously, there's a lot of people in both of those. But there's a
Yep.
shot. Have you seen Miller's Crossing?
I still have not. No.
Okay. Well, we can bank that for later. But there's
Mhm.
another crime scene, and a person is killed, and a dog like comes up and like pulls the toupee off the guy and runs off with it. So watching this just after having seen that like last week, I'm like, oh, there's just too many like similar elements in all of these movies.
That's
But I'm
great.
like,
I love
where did
that.
I just see that? Oh yeah, it was
This is just one of those weird non sequiturs.
Phone's ringing.
And the reason that was funny to me was the context of the scene is it's Mr. Reindeer and he's sitting in his chair and he's got a topless woman on either side of him and they're bickering about something. I don't even remember what it was. They're talking about
Oh
somebody else entirely.
yeah. Well, it was every line had a different expletive, and it was like, did you hear about that bitch so and so? Oh,
Yeah.
that she's gonna eat it. Like she
Yep.
took
And
my stuff or whatever.
it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then he stops them all with phones ringing
Yeah.
as he's calling somebody. That one got me. And then finally, Freddie Jones shows up and for whatever reason just makes that noise.
Oh, he mentioned something about pigeons.
Well, yeah,
Pigeons.
but he did it in like a weirdly
It
Donald
was
Duck
shifted up
type
voice,
of
kind of. Yeah.
voice. Yeah, and it was really strange and it cracked me up.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. If you take a road trip across the country and you're not stopping places, you're just driving, get gas as you need to, whatever,
Mhm.
you will encounter random people and have
Yes.
weird encounters. So there's no explaining real life a lot of times.
Which, is to your point from earlier, like it's just we know as much as they do in these situations, and I love
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
the weirdness that I can appreciate now. And this is one of those where I am loving my journey through David Lynch movies because of stuff like that and making me think about it. And then tossing in scenes that make me deeply uncomfortable, but then moving on and giving me something else and giving some resolution to it. And then this ends on a very uplifting note where he finally does sing her "Love Me Tender."
Oh
And that's
yeah.
the end of the movie. It's
The
great.
entire credits is just I let the entire credits play because it's just
Yeah.
revolving around them, and I'm like, this is the movie. This is still part of the movie. Like
Yeah. And it's Nicolas Cage doing the singing. He's
yeah.
credited on 2 songs on this on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I love that. So like it's the mixture of David Lynch surrealism and then you throw in Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage really well, and it fits in this world. Like for him to be able to do the weird stuff that Cage likes to do fits in the Lynch movies. I'm really surprised they didn't work together more, to be
I
honest
think
with you.
they're both strong. They both have their own strong styles. I think Kyle
True.
MacLachlan has done a lot of stuff with Lynch. Laura Dern has done a lot of stuff with Lynch, but like they're all kind of they're not the same character and everything, but there's different facets and different aspects of it. I think Cage wanted to do a wider range of things. Like I think
That
it would have
could
been
be.
great to see them do more work together, or like even if he like had a brief cameo in, well, I don't know, a cameo in The Return would have probably just been taking people out of it. But I mean, like
That I
Michael
wonder,
Cera,
right? Like, because Cage went on to have like a very successful career, and it's not to say that like Laura Dern or Kyle MacLachlan didn't, or any of the
right?
stable of actors that Lynch would put in things a lot didn't. But like, it's sort of like having a good working relationship with somebody, but then they go on to be bigger and more successful, and now. Because I do wonder if Cage had come back and had like cameos and things popping up here and there, would it have felt like stunt casting at some
Yeah,
point? And
Yeah,
maybe
I feel like
Lynch didn't want to do that kind of
he
thing.
got big enough. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice that like a lot of the people he worked with were recognizable, but initially not like the biggest name. So it was easier. I
Yeah.
mean, even Isabella Rossellini, like a big name, less so over here than like overseas probably, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, that was kind of one of those like I never really got the appeal of her at first because I had seen her in some of the movies made more recently. And then
Yeah.
like I went back and I'm like, oh, okay. Watching some of their older stuff. There's actually I haven't seen it. There's a whole movie that he did with her because they were dating at the time. Um,
Oh, okay.
I saw a video about Lynch's acting, which is why I want to watch Lucky because it was the only time that he and Harry Dean Stanton actually were on screen together acting.
Wow.
But yeah, he did a movie with her where they played a couple and they were actually dating, and so she had like I guess asked like I want him to play my partner in this, and I don't remember what the movie is, but it's something I'm probably gonna like look up. I don't know that it was like a great movie, but it just looked interesting as like a Lynch observation. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was of the David Lynch movies that I have watched, I would probably put this lower on my list, and that's not a fault of this movie. It's just I've watched Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive,
yeah,
and those are fantastic, like next level. This slots a little bit below it, but this is very compelling and very interesting, and I would watch this again. I
more
might skip
accessible.
a scene or two. It is a little bit more accessible
Yeah,
because it
I
does
think
have
that
the surrealism without it being like too much. Um, I think it's the disturbing moments in this are less so than something like Blue Velvet,
right.
which is at times really difficult. But I think Blue
Hmm.
Velvet also pushes it a little bit further in a way that is compelling. So either way, like this for me was great, and while it maybe doesn't rank super high again on like Nicolas Cage movies for me, that's not a knock of this movie. It's just he's got such a just like Lynch, he's got such a broad spectrum of things, and this is one of them. But
Right.
it's very good, and his performance in it, I think, is fun, and it's a cool. This is a good way to come into Cage-A-Palooza and celebrate Nick Cage for a month
Yeah.
because you get him without it just being him while also being David Lynch, but throwing in Willem Dafoe and Laura Dern and J.E. Freeman and
Hmm.
everybody in there. So
Yeah.
this was a great choice. This was a good pick, and I'm glad that you got me to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, we can
So I
credit
appreciate
Josiah
that.
because he told me about it. I think so. But yeah, it's also once you get through the content of the movie and like we're talking about it now, you like this is a very much a celebration of actors, writing, the process, characterization. Like they can run free, they can go where they want to, like, so it's a very in a weird sense it kind of felt like because it was between seasons 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks, I believe. It kind of felt like a summer camp vibe, like we got everybody together, we're going to play different
Yeah.
roles, but we're going to do our production of this, and then like we're all going to go our separate ways after this. So it kind of felt like a moment in time, all these energies came together, made this, and then so it feels
Yeah,
special for that sense
absolutely.
too. But yeah, it's not
If
the most Lynchian.
No, but it is very Lynchian, but it's not the most Lynchian. If you
Yeah.
can find it, if you can find a
Yeah.
copy of this, or if you can borrow it from somebody, and you like David Lynch, I suggest watching it. I think it's worth it. It's just
Yeah.
a tougher one to find because of the music rights. That's a bummer because I do feel like this should be more accessible. I wish it was.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I'm
but
glad
this
Shout
was a great
Factory
choice.
put
Yeah.
it out on Blu-ray finally because it was like
Mhm.
I don't even know if it had a DVD prior to that. It might have just been VHS. I feel like there's been a few movies that just completely skipped DVD and Blu-ray or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, again, it's all those
Licensing
rights
probably.
and
Yeah.
media rights and licensing of the music. Anytime you get a lot of licensed music, it gets tough.
Mhm.
But that is Wild at Heart, and that is the kickoff, the start of Cage-A-Palooza 2025. I'm celebrating Nick Cage because he is just a wonderful gift to the world. For whether his movie is good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's almost always entertaining in some way, and I love that. Now next week I'm going in a very different direction. So this was 1990, and this was Wild at Heart. Next movie is from 2023, and it's Dream Scenario. And I have seen the trailer for this, and all I know is that it has something to do with Cage's character, and a bunch of people are having dreams about him. And I think it's A24.
I think so.
So
I haven't seen it either.
It's preparing me for it to be very weird. And hey, I'm all for that, right? As we know. So, we'll see kind of what goes on with that. There's going to be Adam Mock coming back to chat with me about Dream Scenario for week 2 of Cage-A-Palooza 2025. Josh, thank you so much for being here. I love having you on. It's always a fun discussion. And it's great
even if we don't talk about the movie itself.
Sometimes, I mean, this is one of those movies where the plot doesn't matter. It's about the feel of it more than anything. Whereas if it's something like, Blood Simple, the plot mattered more, I think, in Blood Simple than it did in this.
Yeah.
So
I just think 3 Days of the Condor was just you and I going, did you see this thing? And did you see that? And it was like, did we even talk about the movie? Yeah. Anyway,
that's one of the beauties of doing this show, though. Is like, where does the movie that we watch take us? What does it give us? And this one gave us a lot that didn't have to do with the plot, which I feel like David Lynch is really good at that. So
yeah.
But as always, it's a pleasure having you on. Do you have anything you want to tell people about?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I could try to throw the stone down the hopscotch and make some promises of things that I'm working on, but I don't have anything coming into fruition just yet, so maybe I shouldn't say anything yet. But no, I've got a couple of things I'm looking into do.
Awesome. Well, as those become more and more available, let me know and I'll tell people about it. And you can, join my Discord. Josh is in there on occasion, whenever he uses Discord. And you can join that Discord through my website, tvstravis.com. It's got a link to it there. You can also join it as a member of the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/WYHS or through a link on my website, tvstravis.com. And the Patreon allows me to do things like my upcoming trip to Dragon Con, which I will be doing in a few weeks. In fact, as of the date of recording this, I am 1 month away. In 1 month, I will be on a plane. Well, I will already be in Atlanta and getting into my hotel room. So I will be doing the show live there. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm going to be talking about The Sandlot while I'm there, as well as doing a couple other panels during the course of the week. So, and the Patreon is what allows me to do things like that. So if you can, I definitely appreciate it. You get things like my first watch diaries on the series. I'm going to be recording my the final episode of Ahsoka is the last one I have to watch. And then I'll be starting a new series after that. You also get special parts of the Discord that only patrons get. So if you can, it's great. And if not, I understand. You can find all of that at tvstravis.com. There's also merch over there. Links to all my social medias and things like that. And I'm really trying to focus on starting to put more content onto the site in the blog part of it as well. So there's stuff to read there, maybe short videos that I can post on there, as well as the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@tvstravis. So definitely check all that out. We had Dream Scenario next week, and then more Cage for the rest of the month, and I can't wait. But Josh, thank you so much, as always, for being here. It was a ton of fun.
Thanks
for
having
definitely
me.
Do it again. We got to find something for you and Josiah to come back with too.
Yeah,
3 of us chatting.
What?
So I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I messaged him. I think I messaged you because I was going to do the network episode with you guys and then didn't. And then I had all these thoughts and things, and I'm like, I didn't have an outlet for them. So yeah, I did listen to you guys talk about it. You guys covered a lot of the same stuff I did, but yeah, it's definitely good when there's more people in the conversation.
For sure. And you both have really good insights into film. And so I like having the conversations. I love the conversation with him, and I've always loved our conversations. So
different perspectives too. So yeah.
Yes. Yep. So that is what's going on. So until next time, and dream scenario, just remember to enjoy your movies. And look, it's all crazy, but let's be excellent to each other. All right, this has been Wait You Haven't Seen.
I've gone buffalo hunting? What the fuck does that mean?
I loved that line.
We didn't talk about Harry Dean Stanton's scene getting shot.
No.